Hey, it's me, Big P. I wanted to do a current progress video. It's been slow and steady. I've been playing with some friends, and took most of day 2, Saturday, off. I wasn't feeling well, so we're still in the campaign in Act 1 Cruel difficulty. I'm just going to mouse over all my gear so you get an idea of what to expect from, or just something that can get you through normal campaign. Most notably, a bow like this, pretty solid bow. That I was able to make. Once I started getting in Act 3, I think you really start to get the bang for your buck in terms of investing crafting materials into base types, especially for us, considering we're using grenades, and grenade skills fire an additional projectile is huge for the build. Just using a bunch of more leveling gear, we did get some nice spirit on the chest. It's not really make or break for the build as it is right now, but we'll see. Some very basic leveling gear. You do have a bit of leech and a lot of mana stuff here, although it's really more cooldowns that are the issue. A lot of nice damage on the gloves. Be sure to look. Glove slot can get you damage and leech, as well as obviously resistances in life, so they're competing for a lot of stuff there. This is a leveling belt that gives instant recovery to your flasks, which is pretty nice. It has saved my ass a number of times. And 25 move speed in the campaign. Let's go and run this zone. I do want to go over just real quick. Ignore crossbow shot. We are just keeping stuff in here as we're swapping between them and trying different things out. Explosive grenade is the main damage skill. Now it is worth noting. I'll go over the tree after we kill the boss and stuff like that. I'm just going to go over the skill gems right now in case you just want to take a look. Expedite, I would say, is almost like, I'm just going to show you with Expedite. That's 1, 2, and then a little more than 2 seconds. Without it, dude, look. Unless you're manually detonating them somehow, unless we have like another support gem that can help with us. I still haven't looked too much in the tier 3 support gems. The tier 2 is fighting for stuff like primal armament, which obviously is like one of the best damage supports in the game. And I'm using Conk Effect right now. I don't know if this is actually really great. I think you actually want them to be overlapping, but Explosive Grenade is the single target right now, and it's feeling pretty good. Once we got this bow, we just started melting. We really struggled through Act 2 because we found a bow at the beginning of it. I'll actually go back to town and show the initial bow that I dropped in Act 1. That really, really helped me get through that one. Oil Grenade, it just has Strip Away and Scatter Shot. This helps, this is just exposure, and helps with coverage because now you can do effective damage for wherever you're doing a big ignite in this area. It doesn't last too long, but it's just something to throw in the rotation. And then Voltaic Grenade right now we're doing with Lightning Infusion and Second Wind. Twice as many cooldown uses means it brings it up from 3 to 6, so you can kind of spam it a bit more. I'm using it as just like an extra damage nade because you can't, even with the cooldown buffs that they gave Explosive Grenade, you can't just do that even with like some of these in between. I'll go over the tree and show you exactly how much cooldown I needed. Just a quick look at the tree if you want to take a look. Big cooldown nodes over here, and we were over here when the Explosive Grenade and Voltaic had a 7-second cooldown, but I logged in yesterday in the afternoon, and they had just reduced it to 5, which meant that we not only were able to drop this, but also drop cooldown recovery from the main links, which felt really nice. And yeah, we'll talk about like detonation time and fuse duration and whatever a bit later. Let's just get into some gameplay right now. Oh wait, I didn't finish. Ripwire Ballista is just really nice. I can't believe I didn't use Ripwire Ballista over Artillery Ballista, because Ripwire actually in terms of utility, pin is super nice, especially since we're doing delayed damage with the grenades. Like you need something to stay over here in this area. Hopefully it will be able to be pinned down by this. Not to mention that Font of Mana and Font of Blood are really nice. We're going to also throw Font of Rage in there as soon as we get the third socket and 3 gems, or level 3 gems rather. And now we're running Herald of Ash with Clarity and Vitality, as well as Wind Dancer. I probably would drop Wind Dancer or maybe like one of these. Wind Dancer has been really nice. I put Maim and Magnified Effect on it, just so that you can maim stuff when it does proc. It does appear that we are going to be going Armor ES Hybrid, Armor Evasion Hybrid, and maybe ES, maybe Tribrid even, shouts to RuneScape. And then Hailstorm Rounds is something that I've always felt like I always want to throw some bolts to use in the gear or in the grenadier setup rather, and hailstorm rounds just seems like it makes the most sense. It's a bit of a slow. You fire it once and then it does effective damage in an area. It's not very, maybe like if I put conk effect in this, like would that change like the area that it's falling in? Not really, it just seems to cover a smaller amount of, yeah, so we're still figuring that out. Probably put like, I have glaciation in here right now, and then we'll probably put ice bite as well, but it's not very consistent. It's just like a potential for more damage, so don't really pay attention to that. And shock burst rounds, I mean, we're not using that stuff. I'm just holding some gems in here that we've been trying. So let's get into it. Let's just run through and try and go. So the way damage, I will say, ever since I added the whatchamacallit, this node here, 50% increased grenade detonation time, like I'm not even sure if the extra proj is worth that, honestly. For now it's okay. Maybe it'll be something that like we swap in and out of like when we're mapping and stuff like this, but I mean really the idea is to have everything die in one, you know, if they get hit by a grenade they should be dead. Ideally, let's do some single target here. So for any single target, you really just set up, you want to be standing by the ripwire ballista, and then maybe throw some oil down, and then just swap left click, right click between voltaic and explosive. It's stunned. I stood in those big fire circles because I'm making fire circles. We're not very tanky right now. We're going to need much better gear to actually make this work in maps, I think. Oh, hey, another. Let's go for it. 2, 3, just cycle between your grenades. I mean, pay attention to the cooldowns if you want to get an idea, but yeah, I mean, stuff just dies. Stuff's been dying. This is, again, the crossbow I found somewhere between Act 3. It gets really hard for me to, like, not shoot at something. It's like, this guy's dead, right? Oh, he didn't die. Okay, the voltaic doesn't do as much damage as the explosive, but, like, there you go. How does it damage? So again, we're really going to see, I don't really think I'm going to be fitting like a detonator skill into my, you know, we don't really have anything. I was running flash grenade to help us deal with like some more immediate stuns, and I think I might actually go back to that. But voltaic is like kind of doing similar duty, it just doesn't come out as quick. And then oil, it's a slow, but it's really more for the exposure that we're using it. You know, once we do get some more skill gems, maybe we can get a bit more utility on everything that is an explosive grenade, but right now it's just, you know, it's getting it done. Remains to be seen. There you saw the wind dancer proc off there, which is pretty nice. So you just kind of like, you know, this is the thing, it's like you have to kind of trail along with stuff. It's a little weird, I gotta say. It makes me want to not use the additional grenade if it's making the detonation like that much longer. You know, I've always said Path of Exile, be it 1 or 2, is a game of inches and seconds. So it really would help if we could just have some more consistent damage. But like once you get into DPS, see, he's like frozen there, he's stunned there. You just dump everything on him and he's dead. There you go.
Who's next?
So if you do know a way to detonate these crossbow shots, I mean, there's exploding shot, but I don't really want to mix that in. I might have to, unfortunately, if we get into maps and it's just like, yeah, we're just being covered by like beyond mobs. I remember I couldn't clear like breaches. Grenades just seem to be like very good for single target, and you know, the clear is there as well, but it's, you know, a little disappointing that it does seem to just be very slow. I guess it's really like the range slam skill, if you want to call it that. I feel like that's like a good way to put it. You know, so you trade immediacy of damage for amount of damage, and I will say I'm very much feeling the two-handed crossbow buffs, even early on, giving a lot of damage, like way more damage. Let's see. That's the stun build up nice too. We were using flash grenade with second wind to have stun build up, which was kind of nice. But like I kind of moved that out. We could put that back in the links. Maybe it might be a good idea, just for like an oh shit panic button, which we desperately need. But again, I'm not really sure. Jesus, this thing's chunky. My fire res resistances are kind of bad. I've actually started to pay attention to it now. Going into Cruel, and you get a bigger debuff for resistances. And maybe I should have just started at the boss. Because this zone is a real PoE2 zone. Maybe it's over there. I should have just gone up this way. Not much else to say about it. I think the game overall is, you know, still very difficult to get through without any, you know, like twink gear. Building, like, gear is hard to come by. As you can see, we're still using, like, middling stuff without life rolls, without res rolls, just whatever rolls on a ring to fill the slot in. The biggest thing for whatever weapon skill you're using is keeping up with the base types. Like, a blue weapon with like an Act 3 is going to be better than, like, the best rare Act 1 weapon ever. You know, just keep that in mind. Now let's get some single target in and see.
No escape.
So we'll fill it up with a bit of oil here.
This is personal.
Yeah, it seems alright. The only thing is, like, I tend to, like, use grenades that aren't the explosive grenade now. I was used to, like, having a full rotation that wasn't just, like, focused on explosive grenades, but, you know, single target's really, really solid this way. So one of these, ate one of those. Ooh, okay. That should have killed me probably, but it didn't. We currently have these two. I didn't really go over the ascendancy. We are a Witchhunter. I went for Witchbane first and then Pitiless Killer second. This will be the third one I get to. And then I don't really know what else we go for. I don't think Sorcery Ward is actually going to be that good. I don't know if Zealous Inquisition is great for a build that's already getting, like, big explosion and clear. I don't really know how much work Herald of Ash can actually do if the grenade explosion is doing more. You know what I mean? So maybe we might just go for Decimating Strike as well, which will just, you know, be a big chunk of damage. And yeah, Weapon Master I doubt we're gonna go into. There's not really that many choices. Really the only thing was just that No Mercy was a big buffed node, so we want to go into that. And then, I mean, as far as the tree goes, again, like I was saying, we were in CDR here. If you don't like cycling between a number of different nade spells, you could focus more on CDR. We picked it up there on the small nodes here. And actually, funnily enough, these small nodes also give cooldown recovery rate. These give damage against low life. In which case, we are probably going for, like, these low life damage here, these two-handed weapon nodes here, you know, stuff like that. I'm taking Polymathy right now just for to help with gearing requirements while we're trying out different skill setups as well, because a lot of them are very stringent and, like, requirements. We're just the only part, we're in the part of the tree that can get it, so it's nice to have. And then yeah, everything else, yeah, reduced detonation time I'd want to talk about. So can I refund this here? No, can't refund it here. Kind of wanted to go over it to see, but you know what, I'll experiment more with it right now. It's obviously usable, and single target is where it shines. It's just, I'm just afraid we're gonna get to that same point in maps where we were before, where it's just like, damn, this just feels really bad. Of course, that was in old PoE2, where one death equals map is bricks, so it was super frustrating, like on a starter build with, like, middling gear, to have that, like, just not be able to progress to the point where I re-rolled. Hopefully we will not have that. I am going to go live for a large portion of today if I'm not playing with my friends or watching other streamers. There seems to be a lot of good other builds as well, so I'm more than happy to try this, get as much endgame progression as I can done with this, and then make a Lightning Javazon, copying Pox, because that looks awesome. Still having a lot of fun with the game. If you don't like the struggle, if you don't like dodge rolling in FromSoft games, maybe this isn't the game for you. Cope, Seethe, all that good stuff. Take it easy, and we'll have more updates later on.